welcome back to the Michelle Valentine Show. Joseph is getting excited
I'm just
again.
dancing. I just love our theme so much that it just gets me going in the groove.
I like that kind of jazz thing.
Going.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
Yeah. Well, remember that upcoming is the Michelle Valentine's Cruise to the Bahamas. It's a singles weekend party that's just party, 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 party.
We're going to cruise until you bruise, is what I'm saying.
And we're going to the Bahamas. It's the weekend of October 8th. But you must call today to order these tickets because we only have so many cabins reserved and we're almost sold out, so make sure that you call.
That's right.
Also, if you want to know a little bit more about the cruise, you can go to www.orlandoconnections.com. And there's a whole little website all about this cruise.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
Just make sure you bring your suntan lotion and all that good stuff.
Yes, bring your suntan lotion so you can have someone, put it on your back.
Rub it on. That's
right. There'll be lots of singles and lots of partying. We'll have our own private party on the ship and just overwhelming amounts of food and sun and dancing and shopping in the Bahamas, and it will be so much fun.
I can't wait. I want to go snorkeling.
I've never been to the Bahamas before, so this will be a first-time event for me.
It's gorgeous. But what we have to do for sure, we're going to take the cameras too. So
everyone. We're forgetting to tell you this, but we're taping the TV show.
If you don't want to be on TV, don't even go.
No, they can go. They just have to hide their face.
Okay, just hide your face.
But we are taping. The camera crews are coming on the cruise ship with us, and they're going to be following everyone around.
That's right.
And so it will be great. And then everyone.
We have to go snorkeling. Is all I'm saying.
I'm finishing my story.
Okay, finish the story.
So they'll be taping everyone on the ship. So then, like a week later, everyone who went on the cruise can go home and watch the show and go, "That's me. See me. See me."
And record it, and just keep it for posterity. You can tell your grandchildren, I was on a cruise once. Once. But anyway, so.
What were you saying?
Oh, I was saying about the snorkeling thing.
Yes, that'd be fun.
I went to the Bahamas once, and we went snorkeling, and it was so unbelievable because basically you don't have any oxygen tanks or anything like that. You're just hovering above the coral reefs and stuff, and it's so peaceful to do.
Nice.
And I think I could get you in there, and
I think so.
We could scope out some fish, and have a really good time at it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Alrighty then. It's a date. It's a date.
It's a date. All right. Our
back to business.
First guest is Scott duPont, and he is the producer of a new video out called it's called Women on Men. And so, Scott, how could a gentleman come up with an idea of this? Women on Men, where did you possibly come up with it? You just went one day and go, I'm going to do a videotape of women talking about men. Where did the concept come from?
Actually, we were just talking about that with Joe here. It was about almost 2 years ago, sitting back in a lazy boy recliner like this, and I was thinking, what can I put together in a tape? What would men kill? What would they pay $24.95 for to get this information to learn about women? And I mean, Playboy, there are all these magazines, there's all these X-rated videotapes which I didn't want to get into. But there's a million, actually there's over 150 books and audio tapes on dating, relationships, how to meet women, that kind of thing. And that's what I wanted to get into, but there were no videotapes on that particular subject.
That was very good.
So that's where it all came from. I was lucky enough to grow up with 3 sisters, about 20 female cousins. So I heard a lot of the locker room talk, what the girls told each other, but they don't necessarily come out and tell guys. And that's pretty much the premise of this video, Women on Men. It's strictly from the women's point of view.
So where did you come up with the questions to ask? I mean, what made you actually think that women don't talk to men about things? Is this from your own experience?
From my own experience, and it's just, you look around, you go out downtown on Friday night, it's like 5 or 10 buddies, they go out, they get drunk, it's the same 5 or 10 guys that stumble into the parking lot, and they're all, bitching and moaning about the women. But I really wanted to get a handle on just the honest truth. What do girls really dislike about guys? What do girls like about guys? We even got, like I said, we didn't get into the sexual issues, but what are the ways you can please a woman that a woman's not going to tell you until you're intimate with her?
Yes.
Before the sexual issues, I mean, there are certain parts of her bodies, or there are erogenous zones. Are there things that she really likes and appreciates? So one whole chapter in that video is devoted to that.
That's very good.
I hear you going, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Actually, I'm going to watch this with the magnifying glass. No, but I have a question for you, though. It's very interesting what you say, but she has a point first. First, I mean, you're starting up from your point is that women don't communicate well with men. That might be a problem, and I think actually, not to take sides or anything like that, but we have the same problem. You can turn that, flip that coin. But my question is, how deep do you get? Because when you have a bunch of girls talking together, like you say, they're just like guys, and they comment about guys and stuff like that. Some people say that they're actually worse than men. That they, some people say that. I'm not saying that I say that. Excuse me. But how, do you bring some of that into this? I mean, can you make them forget that the cameras are there and actually have them talk truthfully and be totally open about it?
Absolutely. The way we started this project is we went through 550 women.
Okay.
We narrowed it down to 9 women who are actually the principals in this video.
Yes.
And during the auditions, we had a camera going. A lot of times we didn't tell them whether the camera was rolling or not.
Okay.
We made them sign a release.
Okay.
Some of this may be included in the video. We're not auditioning you for the purpose of getting free stuff that we can sell in the video. But if, in fact, something comes back that's really, really good, that's spontaneous, because none of this was scripted,
correct,
we reserve the right to use it, and we'll come back and we'll pay you, we'll compensate you for your time.
That's very good.
And some of the footage was actually taken from the auditions.
That's very good.
There was one girl in particular, she said some really racy comments, and we brought her into the studio in the editing room during post-production, and we spent about an hour with her making sure we could fit what she said in. We ended up keeping what she said. It was a little racy, but it was very important that it go in the video.
Well, actually, yeah, you have to. Don't you think that you have to go and take the racy stuff as long as, I mean, as well as the scripted stuff, because you want to get the true the truth out of this.
Sure.
It's interesting. We started out to make it a 40-minute project. After months and months and months of editing it, it came out to almost 2 hours. Wow. And we had to chop that down. We got it down to an hour and 15 minutes. So it is a feature length as far as a video goes.
Okay.
Well, let's take a look at
Yeah, I think he brought a segment
part
for us.
of Women on Men.
Yes.
And the Essential Dating Guide for Men. So let's take a look.
All right.
We women put a lot of effort into our clothes, into our shoes, into our jewelry, things like that. Compliment us on something specific. Say, hey, those are really interesting shoes. That makes that outfit kind of funky. Give us a compliment like that, not just a general, oh, you look nice. Okay, let's see what other women have to say about clothing.
I like guys that have a good sense of fashion. That is a big turn on.
And also penny loafers and a shirt and tie work very well.
Yes.
And I like someone who can dress. And if their pants are wrinkled, it just, I mean, like if shirts are wrinkled and pants are wrinkled, that means you just don't have time, and that's kind of a turn off.
Well, that was great. That was a great
great.
video. That was
great.
really good.
Some good insight.
That's kind of interesting. The girl that was sitting there just kind of talking, and the other one, that's kind of nice.
It seems like you got some
footage.
footage also on, on the road, outside. You went to nightclubs and stuff like that and talked to ladies.
All over the country, actually.
That's
Wow.
good. That's
Wow.
good. Where exactly did you go, if I may ask?
Most of it was shot in Florida, but we did do some segments up in New York, Georgia.
That's very good. That's very good.
So do you have any plans to produce like the, men on women tape?
Yeah, it's actually called Men on Women, How to Meet the Millennium Man.
Ah.
Okay.
So
And,
what do you think, Scott, personally, is a millennium man?
We're still in the development phase, so we're doing a lot of
I
research.
can tell you what a millennium man is. No, if you need,
All right, no,
you
wait
need
a
help.
second. Me, myself, and I, Joseph, wants to hear this. So, Michelle,
Me and my big mouth.
this is your audition, darling. What is your ideal millennium man?
I was only kidding.
No, but now
Okay, I will
We'll
tell
bring
you.
Joe in.
Well, all right, well, the millennium man is someone who is confident. You
Okay.
have to be confident because nowadays, the way that the world works, you have to be confident in your profession
Absolutely.
as well as in your intelligence. So he must have some sort of good education behind him to
Absolutely.
show that he has dedication and to show that he cares about his life. And I feel that a man who goes for some sort of education or training or trade shows that he cares about himself, thus he will care about a wife and family.
Everybody else, yeah.
Right, he cares
Yeah,
about
yeah.
his family. Millennium man is someone who takes care of his appearance. you know, someone who takes care of those little things, like, you know, not dirty shoes, or, you know, making sure his nails are cleaned, and, and you know, those little things. Someone who takes care of himself, you know, someone who's attractive in the sense that they feel attractive. And I'm not saying he has to be, you know, the most beautiful man there is, but someone who takes pride in the best assets that he has.
You know, you have a great point there, because you see, like, you can tell how somebody is, even by the way they keep the car they drive, by the way they dress.
Absolutely, absolutely. I went on a date, personally. I went on a date with this guy. That was the most...
Here we go, folks. This is inside stuff, all right? We got her talking now.
I hate talking about my personal life on TV. That rarely happens.
But this time, okay.
But I went on a date with this guy. He was like the most beautiful guy.
Okay.
And you know, and it was just amazing, because as I got to know him, he just seemed to be more and more unattractive to me.
Okay.
And you know, things like just
so the
little
outside
things like,
that had nothing.
Yeah, the outside just didn't have it. You know, and again, think about his car. The car was, you know, he knew well he had to pick me up, and the car was filthy dirty. And you know, it's kind of like, ew. And
I know.
you know, it only takes maybe 15 minutes to go through a drive-through car wash, and it only costs like $7 or something. But you know, it's just like, you need to show some respect, and that starts from square one. And I believe in that. So guys, have your cars cleaned, and your fingernails.
The moral of the story is clean your car. No, you have to love yourself to love everybody else. It all falls into that same category.
Right.
That's very interesting, man. If you need subjects for your video there, I would gladly serve.
We'll start interviewing guys in a few months, so we'll keep your number.
All right. All right.
Okay. Everyone out there, Women on Men, you can find it at Blockbuster Video. Stay tuned for more of the Michelle Valentine Show. We have a psychiatrist coming on. I was ready to say psychologist again. Psychiatrist coming on. And stay tuned. You'll get to learn some more information.
If you're enjoying the Michelle Valentine Show, you will love her new travel TV show, Love, Eat, Travel. Follow Michelle Valentine as she travels the world, showcasing the most beautiful destinations, unique adventures, romantic things to do, delicious foods, and more. Visit www.loveeattravel.tv for more information about an upcoming TV show.
Hi, this is Michelle Valentine, and I would love if you followed me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Be sure to visit my website, michellevalentine.tv, for more information, read thousands of interesting blog posts, watch videos, enter sweepstakes, and more. Also, be sure to join my email list to receive my free weekly e-newsletter.
Are you wondering where all the quality singles are? Singles that are attractive, educated, and financially secure? Hello, I'm Michelle Valentine, and I've helped thousands of singles live a happier life, and I can help you too. Clients and members include millionaires, models, doctors, lawyers, and teachers. So call us for your complimentary consultation.
Hi, welcome back to Michelle Valentine Show. We have a special guest. Now, I'm reading it from this card here because there are so many technical terms. I don't want to get anything wrong. Anyways, his name is Dr. Charles E. Bailey. He is a clinical psychopharmacologist, and he's from the Clinical Neuroscience Solutions. So, let's see.
That's a handful.
From CNS, Dr. Bailey. Well, welcome.
Welcome, sir.
Thanks,
Welcome.
Michelle.
How
Thanks,
are you?
Joseph. Great.
So tell us how you got involved in years ago. How you wanted to get involved in this. You were saying there were some name changes with the clinic that you're at, and give us a little history of yourself and where you're working.
Well, I do some private practice. I work doing some research several days a week, and we do mostly medication trials, new clinical drug trials on new medications.
So this is for people who. Why would someone need medication if they go to a psychiatrist?
Depression, anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder, bipolar disorder.
Oh my God,
so
we're getting into the darkness.
So at the point of depression that someone needs to get medicated, and say this could stem from, say, a relationship that had gone bad, maybe a divorce, things like that.
Very common.
How many, just how high of a percentage is that people need to go on medication to get over this relationship trauma?
Well, it's very difficult because obviously when people are bonded to someone and that bond's broken, it's a very painful thing. It's very common for it to precipitate a depression. Frequently, people get over that within a few months to, you know, sometimes longer. Frequently, they wind up in therapy, and talking about it frequently is very helpful. Sometimes when the symptoms get worse and worse and the person is not really getting better and they're getting stuck, sometimes it's very beneficial to get a trial of an antidepressant medication.
So when you say they're not getting better, what would you classify as not getting better? Not just simply not dating other people, or maybe to the point of they're not taking care of their normal daily routines, or I mean, how do you decipher that they're in a state of depression? You know, some people say I'm so depressed. How do you decipher that?
When someone starts to get into a state of a clinical depression, they have really significant problems. Their mood is very sad, their sleep is very poor, either they're sleeping very little or sleeping too much, their appetite changes the same, either eating too much or not eating enough. Their energy usually goes to zip. Their energy levels like zip. Activity enjoyment's kind of non-existent. Memory and concentration kind of goes down. They have frequent feelings of hopelessness, helplessness, crying spells, and sometimes even suicidal thoughts. Obviously, that's a time you really need to get some help.
You need some help, yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Yes.
Sure.
So say after a divorce, I know it's hard to decipher because everyone's different, but after a divorce, how long, or after a breakup of a relationship, just how long do you think that people really need to move on after, you know, some people can break off and go, I'm on with my life, I'm done.
Sure.
Whereas some people cling on for half a year. Do you think that is, I mean, where is the really unhealthy time limit?
One of the things that frequently complicates kind of getting on with your life is getting stuck in some kind of lengthy legal
battle,
altercation called a divorce. That really complicates things. That tends to draw things out. It's a very stressful process to go through. In a reasonably, if someone has an ending to a relationship, frequently in 3 to 6 months, they would at least be starting to think again about, well, maybe I might date someone, or maybe I'll start going out. At least they're getting over the worst of it. They're starting to get on with their life. And somewhere or another, they get brave enough to go out with another guy or a woman. Or,
Exactly. And also, when you're involved in these battles that you mentioned, you're constantly seeing this other person. You cannot get him out of your mind or out of your sight because you're constantly in contact with them.
You can't put it behind you because it's there every week or two when you're going to court and when you're having all these difficult conflicts and struggles.
I have a question about the medications. Recently, they've been under scrutiny because some instances, a very famous comedian that remember the gentleman that got his wife shot him. She was of course, she was doing also drugs. But she was also on antidepressants. So there's been a scrutiny as to, you know, what is the need or how strong should these medications be. What is your position on this?
Well, that's probably an artifact. That's something, you know, people commit those kind of things whether they're on high blood pressure medications or no medications. Obviously, she had a lot of other problems, like you mentioned, including the drug abuse.
Correct.
But the medications they're incredibly safe. They have a great track record.
Correct.
They're widely prescribed. They have very low side effect profile. The benefits significantly outweigh, and I would say that's a very unusual thing that may have happened anyway.
Right. She was mixing alcohol with other drugs.
With other drugs and taking antidepressants,
The suicide rate actually goes down with antidepressants.
That's good. That's very good. Very good.
Okay, let's talk before we close up. You were working on a book, or you finished a book?
I'm just now finishing up, and I'm getting ready to look for a publisher.
Well, what's the name of the book?
We're All From Uranus.
Okay, we're all from Uranus.
The planetary theme, which seems to be popular in relationship books.
So we're all from it. So you're saying we're all from the same planet, as opposed to another author who says we're from different planets.
But unfortunately, on Earth, we've learned some unhealthy rules. On Uranus, they have very healthy rules. I could give you a quick rundown if you want to know roughly what they are.
Let's go.
4 basic assumptions on Uranus. They believe that we're all flawed and fallible. We all make mistakes. None of us are perfect, so we don't go around rating ourselves. It's a level playing field. Doesn't matter if you're black, yellow, a man, a woman. There's a level playing field because we have self-acceptance. We believe everyone is flawed and fallible. So it makes a nice, it's very nice for communication because you can communicate across from one another.
Yeah.
Sure.
Second assumption is that we promote flexible thinking. The people on Uranus think very flexibly. They've gotten rid of the word should, must, have to, need to, always, never that most of us were taught.
Okay,
And it leads us to having rigid thinking. The first thing that kills good communication is rigid thinking and rigid communication.
Correct.
So we teach people, I would prefer, I think it's better, I would like for you to do that, I don't like that. And we also teach healthy skepticism. We were talking about before about how do you know sometimes, and when you meet somebody, rather than blind love, we say, hey, nothing wrong with healthy skepticism. On Uranus, people ask people questions. They ask them what they like. They ask them what they don't like. They ask them right off the bat. Nice to find somebody nice looking, but it's also nice to find somebody
that you can communicate with.
Yeah, and find out what their preferences are.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, Dr. Bailey, if you'd like to find out the other 2 things of his 4 topics here on his book, you'll have to wait till his book comes out to find out.
Correct.
Well, Dr. Bailey, it was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thanks.
And everyone, look out for his book.
Very educational.
Real pleasure. I think Ann Landers obviously has some serious competition. I've read your column. It's great.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Stay tuned for more. We'll be right back.
Don't go away.
If you're enjoying the Michelle Valentine show, you will love her new travel TV show, Love, Eat, Travel. Follow Michelle Valentine as she travels the world, showcasing the most beautiful destinations, unique adventures, romantic things to do, delicious foods, and more. Visit www.loveeattravel.tv for more information about an upcoming TV show.
Hi, this is Michelle Valentine, and I would love if you followed me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Be sure to visit my website, michellevalentine.tv, for more information, read thousands of interesting blog posts, watch videos, enter sweepstakes, and more. Also, be sure to join my email list to receive my free weekly e-newsletter.
Are you wondering where all the quality singles are? Singles that are attractive, educated, and financially secure? Hello, I'm Michelle Valentine, and I've helped thousands of singles live a happier life, and I can help you too. Clients and members include millionaires, models, doctors, lawyers, and teachers. So call us for your complimentary consultation.
Hi, welcome back to the Michelle Valentine Show. Well, this is our last segment of the show.
It is.
And
it is
it will be
sadly
the end until next week.
That's right.
But we have somebody exciting. We have a single female, and she's really pretty. So guys out there, take a look.
We're featuring today.
Featuring today on the menu is today's special. No. We have Joan Dorsey. Hi, Joan. How are you?
Hi. Welcome, Joan.
Thanks for coming on the show. You're so nice and bright. It's so nice to see that.
Yes.
So tell us. So you are you actually are retired from an interesting position. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I was an English teacher for many years, but the last 15 years of my career, I taught at a high school of performing arts, taught theater.
Fun.
Wow.
And so I freelance some commercials now, but basically I'm retired.
Okay.
Nice.
And I'm a 2.5-year member of widowdom.
What is that?
My husband died. And all of a sudden I was a single person after many, many years.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I referred to it earlier as the trenches because that's not an original thought. Somebody said that to me, and it is kind of.
It makes sense, yeah, because all of a sudden you find yourself in this position that you know you have no control over, and you're out there, and you're like it's like a war because you're covered by the trenches. You don't know if you want to get out or stay in there, right?
Well, and I'm much older than both of you, and after being married many, many years, all the rules have changed.
Yes.
The socializing has changed.
Yes.
It's difficult to meet people,
Yes.
especially if you're retired. When you're younger, you meet people through your children,
Work.
through your job,
Yes.
and all that's been removed.
Yes.
And your friends sometimes help network, so you have some interesting blind dates occasionally.
I can imagine.
Well, gentlemen out there, the good thing about Joan being retired is she has more time to spend with you.
I can do lunch as well as dinner.
So what kind of man are you looking for?
Oh, well, you know, everyone wants to say somebody with lots and lots of money and very handsome, and all those things are nice, but really, quite honestly, just a nice person. Just a nice person.
Okay, there's a lot of nice guys out there. The phones are going to be ringing off the hook, no?
Yes, yes.
But it's sometimes hard to find someone when you're comparing. And there's a big difference between divorced and widowed.
Right.
I meet a lot of divorced people, men, for instance, and they're looking for dates and no commitments of any kind,
Yes.
and just have a good time. And they usually have some, and widowed people are usually looking for another life.
Yes.
You know?
Well,
Yes.
men
Start
out there who are looking for a new life
Start
with
over
Joan,
again.
and if you're a nice guy, email us at michellev@orlandosentinel.com. So if you're interested in Joan, go ahead
But
and
not
do
that you should assume that a widow is looking for another life, and sometimes people assume that about those of us
Yeah.
that are widowed, and maybe they shouldn't.
No, 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 no. You should never assume anything. Never take anything for granted either.
Okay, that wraps it up for today's show. Thanks for tuning in to Michelle Valentine's show. I'm Michelle Valentine.
And I'm Giuseppe Izquierdo.
We shall see you next week for another great show. Bye-bye.
See.
Bye.
If you're enjoying the Michelle Valentine show, you will love her new travel TV show, Love, Eat, Travel. Follow Michelle Valentine as she travels the world, showcasing the most beautiful destinations, unique adventures, romantic things to do, delicious foods, and more. Visit www.loveeattravel.tv for more information about her upcoming TV show.
Hi, this is Michelle Valentine, and I would love if you followed me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Be sure to visit my website, michellevalentine.tv, for more information, read thousands of interesting blog posts, watch videos, enter sweepstakes, and more. Also, be sure to join my email list to receive my free weekly e-newsletter.
Are you wondering where all the quality singles are? Singles that are attractive, educated, and financially secure? Hello, I'm Michelle Valentine, and I've helped thousands of singles live a happier life, and I can help you too. Clients and members include millionaires, models, doctors, lawyers, and teachers. So call us for your complimentary consultation.